Kamala Harris is on The Stern Show. Kamala Harris is also on Call Her Daddy, the most popular podcast in the world.
That's getting a lot of criticism,
where they talk about gluck, double-handed blowjobs.
Yeah.
Donald Trump sat down with Dave Portnoy. Donald Trump sits down with Joe Rogan. My point is...
I like those guys, though.
Of course, there's your side. That's your side.
I like Rogan. I like Portnoy. I don't like Stern.
So,
I mean... I love Stern, but I'm not interested in him anymore.
Don't you hear? You're just playing into what I'm saying. So thank you.
That's called helping the fucking conversation roll.
I read recently because I was preparing a story for Midweek Major because Kamala was appearing on the All the Smoke podcast, which is the dudes from the Warriors, and her campaign plan is not to do regular media interviews with news outlets.
Yep.
Her media campaign plan is non-traditional media, podcasts, and like certain national platforms that get a lot of attention.
Right.
She's not going the mainstream route.
All right, so let me make my point. My point is, you see Kamala sitting down, Howard Stern. You see Kamala sitting down with Call Her Daddy. You see Trump with Portnoy, with fucking Theo Vaughn. They're doing these interviews in our world, right? And I thought to myself, would it ever be worth... It would be an honor to interview either one of them just because they're presidential candidates. But is it counterproductive? And I say that because if you look at the comments under Portnoy interviewing Donald Trump, it's a bunch of people like, Dave, I liked you until now. Fuck you. Fuck Trump. You look at Call Her Daddy. It's a bunch of people that are like, I fucking loved you until you're fucking Kamala Harris and don't you care about this and that. I feel as though all these mainstream people, all these big shots in our world, it would be hard to pass it up, right? If they were like Covino, Rich, we have an opportunity for a sit down with Trump or Harris.
Take it.
We would, but what I'm saying is, if you look at the comments, everyone ends up hating you.
Well, I think if you're unbiased or ask tough questions,
that's bullshit. Because Call Her Daddy did a whole monologue. I asked Donald Trump to come on too. Kamala said yes. I'm not the person to talk about issues. I talk about sex and relationships and mental health. So this is just an interview. Yet all the comments were like, fuck you. Portnoy was fair. Hit him with Trump with a couple hard questions mixed in. And people are like, yeah, why don't you suck his dick, Dave? I just don't think there's any winning in interviewing a political candidate.
The best angle for me personally wouldn't be to sit here and pretend like I'm sort of intellectual, sophisticated vato. I would benefit if I stay in my lane and be myself and ask appropriate.
Theo Vaughn did that, and people mocked it and said it sucked.
Doesn't matter. I would ask appropriate questions, but I'd still be me, coming from a regular guy perspective, hopefully trying to be relatable to the average fella.
Yo,
not
for
trying
real,
to pretend
what do
I
you
was some political expert. So I would stay in my lane, and hopefully that would provide for a cool dynamic because I'm just a regular guy talking to this powerful politician.
Danny G at Fox, he worked with Clay Travis for years.
Yeah, I did. I talked to Donald Trump. He loves me.
Maybe I could get Trump on. And I'm like,
I got his number.
Yeah. I have his contact.
Yeah.
So
he said I'm his favorite producer.
I've thought about it, and then I went next level and I said, you know what? I don't even know what I would ask either one because that's not our lane. I feel like us being
but
like,
you stay in your lane, bro.
But what's our lane, dude?
My lane is
what's our lane?
Talking to him
Butt cheeks?
like a bro and being real about it. Like you have a brain, right? So you have questions you'd want to ask. And I would prepare thoroughly, but I would be me, not trying to pretend I'm sitting there like a 60
I don't think you would ask.
So tell me, Donald.
It would be our most prepared
I'm not trying
interview.
To be like George Stephanopoulos.
It would be our most prepared interview. I'm just asking, no matter how prepared we would be, I don't know. I don't know what you would ask. Like,
funny, Rich, I've already came prepared and I didn't even know what you're talking about because I was thinking about these things subconsciously. You don't think that Howard and Call Me Daddy actually have a team of people and people on the presidential side that are providing them with questions that they're willing to talk about? These questions are planned. This is
like your favorite Zeus movie. Like your favorite Zeus movie.
They have a team and they have producers and Call Her Daddy and Donald and Howard. They have all these people going over the best questions they want to hit no matter what. And then in between those questions, they fill in the blanks. It's as simple as that. It'd probably be the most pressure-filled but easiest interview we ever did because we have all the questions ready and planned out from a team of people because it's that important. It would be the easiest one we ever done.
Let's say as your producer, I would want you to ask like how everyone reacts certain ways.
What's your favorite falsetto tune?
No, like like people say this about you, address that. Or, people have said this about how you handle things. What do you have to say about that? Like, I would want to address the people's concerns about them, not, I wouldn't necessarily want to dive deep into like their concepts of a plan or policy. Though I would say, what did you mean when you said concepts of a plan?
I'd give Donald Trump a sock check, bro. Make sure he's down full. The point is for me to benefit and not put on some sort of front would be to stay in my lane, to be me. It hasn't failed me yet, and I would continue to do that. Anything else would be disingenuous. It'd be like you're putting on a front, like all of a sudden you're this political interview person. And I'm not saying you don't take it serious, but you stay in your lane to who you are.
You just made my point again.
What makes it a fun dynamic is that I'm me, and that's him. So I would approach her, hey, Donald, what's up?
But they don't do interviews to chit-chat. They do interviews because they want to talk about policy.
Then we wouldn't get that opportunity. But if you want to have a real interview, that would be our best angle. It wouldn't be to pretend to be like some sort of guy who's trying to get to the bottom of some shit because you're not. Tell us about your playing days, man. Were you any good?
No.
Yes, because I've seen footage of him throw and catch, and he could actually play like a man.
No, you can't talk about that.
Why can't I?
It's like Jimmy Fallon playing.
And then you're right. I'm not the right guy for that interview because talking about political issues is not my forte.
Did you listen to what I said? Probably not. I don't think you focus on the hard political issues. I think you focus on a few concerns, like why does everything cost so much? But you focus on people's reactions and thoughts about them and have them clarify that.
I think you focus on your strengths as an interviewer. That's what I think. And you ask a few good, hard-hitting questions, but you keep it light for us.
Hey, Mr. President, we're going to kick it the spot for midweek major. Okay, Ukraine, midweek or major?
What I set it up, if I was in office, they wouldn't have allowed it. Putin wouldn't have done it.
What do you think it would be like to have Tom Brady as a brother-in-law? What are your thoughts? What's your relationship like with Tom Brady? Listen, it'd be fucking fun. And that's where we would prosper.
Agreed, but I don't know if they would let us go there. They might be like...
Then we wouldn't... I mean, we don't have that opportunity. You're asking me what I would do. That's why we don't have that opportunity. And I don't think the call her daddy one is going to be any better. What are they going to do?
Yeah.
Anything that they do, if they're not themselves, they're just disingenuous
I think
and pandering to the moment. We've interviewed astrophysicists, Rich and I. We've interviewed the smartest people in the world and other politicians. I would say, instead of me saying, so tell me, I've really been interested in the state of the nation's economy. Biff in Wisconsin really wanted me to ask you. And then I would position it that way. So it just felt more legit.
Hey, listen,
Biff.
We interviewed Dan Crenshaw during COVID. That's the biggest politician we've ever interviewed. And that was a fantastic hang. My point is,
great.
Is there a win?
Sure.
I wasn't really debating whether or not we
either
could,
way.
I wasn't debating whether or not we could handle it. Of course we could. I'm just wondering, every comment you see is how it sucks and fuck that person.
Well, I was thinking about how we would handle it. Meaning, I think, yes, it is a win because it would be the most press we ever got.
What candidate
even though I don't know if it's
us?
worth all that pressure because I would feel the pressure for sure.
What candidate do you think would upset our audience more?
Our audience?
Trump. He upsets any audience.
Much more polarized.
Yeah. But you don't think we have more Republican viewers and listeners?
I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it's probably 50-50, just like the rest of the world.
If we were to interview Donald Trump and had a really funny conversation like Tom Brady and my daughter, if we laughed it up and chopped it up, yeah, hey Donald, yo, you're my guy. Or if we were like Kamala, hey, if we had a conversation with either one and if we even considered that went really well, either one would piss off half the people.
Yeah, shit on no matter what. No question about it. We'd get shit on from 50% of the people.
Yeah.
And then even people that supported the person you were talking about, they were like, who are these idiots? So we'd get 75% of shit talk.
20%.
Would it be worth it? Yes, because people would recognize what we do and how we do it.